What a great looking crowd. To give you an idea of how many people are here, and such a diverse group of people, by the way, we put together a few numbers. So we're going to go through some pretty interesting stats.
Okay, how many people traveled more than 2 hours to be here today? You hear that noise? You guys are from all over the state of Minnesota, volunteers from more than 500 cities across the state. 90% of our volunteers are from Minnesota. But there are volunteers here from 42 different states.
Amazing.
People traveling all over to be part of our Super Bowl. We have 60.
We're a land of innovators, creators, scientists, and risk takers. We have thriving arts, theater, and music scenes. We have world-class restaurants. We consistently rank among the healthiest, most active communities in the nation. Our businesses feed, clothe, transport, and inspire people around the globe. And we're unlike anyone else who has ever hosted the Super Bowl. We are the North. The bold North, where working hard meets playing harder. Where we don't just face the weather, we embrace it. Where our bold way of life amazes everyone who experiences it. And for 10 days in February 2018, that number takes a sharp turn north.
We are pleased to announce that Super Bowl 52 will be played in Minnesota.
Super Bowl 52 is our chance to host millions of guests, speaking 33 different languages, with over 5,000 media from 130 countries. It will also mark our legacy of 52 weeks of donations to those who are making a real difference in our communities. We'll be the entertainment capital, with marquee concerts, parties, and events the likes of which we've never seen. And for the grand finale, we'll host the biggest, most exciting sporting event in the world, in nothing less than the newest, boldest stadium in the world. This is Minnesota's opportunity to stand in the spotlight, and it's your chance to share the spotlight and show the world what your business and your people are all about. To go beyond the game and to share with others everything we love about the bold North, to give them reasons to return to live, work, shop, and play for years to come. The time is now. The moment is ours, and it begins today. We all need to work together to do this right, and there's plenty of room on the stage. We hope you'll join us in getting behind the greatest event in the world, Super Bowl 52.
Them earlier. Please welcome to the stage your MCs for the evening, Fox 9 anchors Kelsey Carlson and Randy Meyer.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, what a beautiful crowd. Wow. Thank you so much for that warm reception. It is so incredible to be here. We are so proud and so honored to be up on this stage tonight and to be with you in this process. You are going to be the face of this Super Bowl, and a lot of the success hinges on you, but looking out here today, there's no doubt it's going to be successful. We have a great program lined up for you tonight.
Is it too bold to say we have the most energetic and enthusiastic? Stand back up again. You guys are awesome.
You know,
they are going to see you coming.
We are bold.
Very bold.
That is very, very true. You guys are simply amazing. Keep the energy up through February 4th, okay?
All right, we got a lot planned for this evening, but let's start, officially get the training underway. Invite Maureen Bausch. She's the Chief Executive Officer for the Minnesota Host Committee. Governor Mark Dayton is here, and Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar. If they want to join us out here on the stage, we will have our national anthem. Good to see you. Welcome, Governor. Good to see you.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you rise and remove your hats as the Disabled American Veterans of Minnesota. Anoka Chapter 39 Color Guard presents today's colors. Here to sing our national anthem, former defensive tackle for the Minnesota Vikings and currently competing on the NBC's The Voice, Ezra Tual.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we won were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, Ezra Tual.
So proud to have Governor Dayton here with us today, and we would ask for the governor to please kick us off for this wonderful program.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you. First of all, I got to say, Ezra, you are the voice. Now, there are two things that are going to make this the best Super Bowl ever. First is when the Vikings win it. Just like today. The second is when all of us do our part to make this Super Bowl the phenomenal success that this country's never seen before, and I know we can all do it. Look at all the people here. Look at all of you here to help out, here to make this a success. And I want to give credit to three people you'll hear from shortly who are host committee for the Super Bowl, have done all the hard work and heavy lifting to bring the resources together to make it going to be what it's going to be. We were Marilyn Carlson Nelson, Richard Davis, and Doug Baker. They deserve enormous credit for what they've done. And now the other person who's worked so very hard, Maureen Bosch, who's the head of the Super Bowl committee, whatever you're head of. Whatever you're head of, Maureen, I'm handing off a football to you. I'm not going to throw it because I don't know if I can throw that far, but here we go. Got our great Senator Amy Klobuchar playing catch up here. You ready? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. Well, the ball's in Minnesota, and it's time to start, right? The official ball. And I'd like to introduce our wonderful Senator Klobuchar. She is a champion of Minnesota across the world, and we are lucky to have her in Minnesota.
All right, thank you, Maureen. Wow. Unbelievable! How about that Viking win today? Are you ready to have the Vikings in the Super Bowl? I am a lifelong Viking fan, and I am psyched to be here today. There were so many of you volunteers coming that we literally almost didn't make it. It was unbelievable. And since you're giving up your Sunday to be here, I know you must like football a little bit too. And that is important. You know why? You're going to have a job. You're going to have a job over the next few months. And that job is for the Super Bowl in Minnesota to share our pride with the rest, not just of Minnesota, not just of the United States, but the rest of the world. We want people to know how special Minnesota is. So I want you guys, if you can write this down, great. If you can't find, because one of my jobs right now, I actually have a job, and that is to give you some important facts about Minnesota so you're ready to share them with the visitors, right? Because we don't want them to think we're too cold, right? That's not true, right? No. So, well, this is what we want them to know. We want them to know that we Minnesotans are innovators and that we brought the world everything from the pacemaker to the pop-up toaster to the Post-it notes. We in Minnesota had the first open heart surgery and the first bone marrow transplant at the University of Minnesota. We are a leader in putting food on the tables of people all over the world, and we are near the top in wheat, in corn, in soybeans, and guess what? With Thanksgiving on its way, we are #1 for turkeys. Now, we are the only state in the United States of America that has a Spam museum. Or as we like to call it, the Guggenheim. Another thing to keep in mind, Minnesota was recently named a top 3 state for doing business. We even finished in front of Texas this year. Sorry, Cowboys. Now, not many people are going to believe this, but this is what I like to tell out-of-town guests. Get this. We may not have ocean views, but because of all of our lakes, we are #1 in coastlines. That is correct. We have more coastlines than California, Florida, and Hawaii combined. So take that. And part of that is because we have a lake that's not just great, it is superior. You guys are ready to do this. But most of all, and I'll end with this, is that we are dedicated to service. Just look around you for proof, this Crew 52. When Minnesotans are asked to serve, we raise our hands and say, "Put me in, coach, I'm ready to play." So now that you are armed with your Minnesota facts, it's time to get on with the rest of the program. Thanks for listening. Thanks for volunteering. Have a great time with this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And go Vikings!
Welcome, Crew 52. I can't tell you how long we've waited to say that and how excited we are. You know, as the governor said 4 years ago, we asked the NFL to consider coming north, to the bold north, back to Minnesota. And they said they remembered the people. And they said yes because of you. The warm welcome you gave them in 1992 is still the best ever of any Super Bowl. So thank you. Regardless of the temperature, we make people feel warm. You are Crew 52, and you will create the memories. You'll create the experiences. Regardless of the temperature, regardless of the long lines, or if people are lost, it's how we interact with them, how kindly we treat them, that makes them love Minnesota. It's the difference. It's the Minnesota difference. It's what makes the Super Bowl great instead of just good. So it's all about you. And you should give yourselves a huge round of applause because you are the chosen ones. You know, we had 30,000 people register to be volunteers. And over 14,000 came in and interviewed just like you. But this is the group that was chosen to represent Minnesota, the best and the brightest. And you've already shown that today. Just this afternoon, we collected thousands of items for the disabled veterans. And that is a wonderful act of kindness. Thank you. So, as the governor said, when the NFL said they'd consider Minnesota, we were up against two great Super Bowls. Indianapolis, who tried to steal Minnesota nice, but didn't do it, by the way. And New Orleans, who can do Super Bowls in their sleep. So, with the help of three great leaders I'm going to introduce you to in a minute, and Michael Langley, the head of Greater MSP, who's sitting over here, our hospitality industry, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, they put together an amazing bid. It took months. It was a lot of hard work, little bit of luck. And here to tell you about it are the three leaders in our community, three of the best leaders in our community that put it all together. Marilyn Carlson Nelson, Doug Baker, and Richard Davis.
Look, football is America's game, and it seems to me that the NFL wants to move this wonderful game all around the country. If not now, why not Minnesota for 2018?
You know, this is a remarkable region. Our reputation may be Minnesota nice, but bold lives in our DNA.
With 19 Fortune 500 company headquarters, we rank first per capita,
which makes us fourth overall among NFL markets.
And we also boast 10 of the top privately held companies in the United States.
But we never settle for where we are at the moment.
We're continually focused on where we can be in the future.
We're ranked as the 6th most inventive city in the world.
With our diverse economic sectors, we do it all.
From medtech
to 3D printing
to consumer products.
We live and breathe innovation, and nowhere is this more evident than our bold, iconic new stadium.
So the NFL has been a catalyst for our growth.
Our community came together to secure this iconic structure.
And now we're riding that momentum with nearly $4 billion of development to change the landscape of our region.
With nearly $800 million of downtown development.
$300 million in the Mall of America expansion.
$100 million to renovate Super Bowl practice facilities.
In the centerpiece, the $975 million stadium.
The vibrancy of our community has never been brighter.
Built for the Bold is not just a statement, it's a guiding principle of our economic growth. It's a fantastic place to do business and to live, and I think that really will bode well for the NFL. The Super Bowl means a lot here. It's a huge NFL market, it's a huge Vikings market, and you've got a monster fan base here and a lot of excitement about hosting the NFL's supreme event, the Super Bowl. So we hope we can marry these two great things together. Iconic event called the Super Bowl and an iconic market called Greater MSP.
We are really looking forward to hosting the Super Bowl. It's the premier NFL event, and we will promise to give you the warmest welcome in Super Bowl history.
This great place of people who want to celebrate football like you want us to celebrate football and make Minnesota the selection for 2018. It's our time. We're ready. Put us in, Coach. We're ready to play.
Well, hello, Crew 52. We need you guys to kind of bring it up a little bit. All right, I'm Doug Baker. I am proud to be one of the 3 co-chairs with Marilyn and Richard. We've had a lot of fun, but I tell you what, this is the first day where you go, this is gonna be unbelievable. We get your energy in the room, it amps it up, so thank you for being here. So, it's been how long since we last had a Super Bowl in the Twin Cities? 26 years. This is Super Bowl 52. How are you guys at math? Every 26 years, we get a Super Bowl. That's the pattern. Look, when we did it last time, it was really a game, and it was a very short window. This is now a 10-day celebration. It's a huge event. We end up with over 5,000 media in here. We end up with nearly 1 million visitors, many people coming from out of town. And the best way to show them what Minnesota is all about is to open up our hearts and welcome them like we welcome people to our state and to our homes. And that's what you're all about, Crew 52. Now, I don't know if you guys pay attention to the weather or the seasons, but the game is held in February. So I say Minnesota's a great place all the time. It just happens to be greater in some months than the others. So this game is going to have huge economic impact. We estimate that it's going to generate over $400 million during those 10 days. That's good. I'd say that's important, but I don't think it's the most important part. The most important part is the lasting benefits that this game's going to bring. One of them is that we also know cities and regions that put on successful events end up with business past that, more conventions, more events like the Final Four, like Ryder Cup, etc. So this can generate a lot of money during the 10 days, but most importantly, help drive economic impact for years to come. That's our job, collectively. It will also drive benefits because we have a legacy program, which Marilyn Carlson Nelson is going to come up and talk about, which will also benefit our communities for years to come as well. So with that, Marilyn, and go Crew 52.
We are here in the bold north. We are one. We are many. We are spread far and wide, but we have a legacy of community. We, the Minnesota Super Bowl Host Committee Legacy Fund, are committed to making a difference in the health and wellness of Minnesota kids and families. We are focusing on 3 components to kids' health: fun, being active every day; fuel, the importance of nutrition; and fundamentals, the value of a positive coach and mentor in kids' lives. These projects identifying the greatest needs to improve health and wellness of children and families. We came together intentionally to see the whole state, all its diversity, urban, suburban, rural, and tribal communities. 52 weeks of giving is an unprecedented way to use the Super Bowl as a way to impact and give back to communities reaching throughout the state. These are not just programs and projects. These are people, all our people.
Thank you. You should be applauding for that. I'm up here really almost teary. You are the reason I live in Minnesota. You are the reason I love it here. We're all giving and caring people. And the Super Bowl is a great opportunity not only to celebrate a football game and a great week of festivities for families, but there's more. We wanted to use this platform to make a long-term difference for the kids in our community. So we decided Super Bowl 52 just happens to be the number of weeks in a year. So we decided to raise funds and to give grants all across the state, one a week. We wanted to touch communities in need. We wanted to do something for our children. It used to be that Minnesota's children were the healthiest in the country. We've actually dropped down to number 6, and we know why. Part of it's nutrition, part of it's lack of enough exercise, and then of course, with the football, we ought to have some fundamental coaching and some interest about safe play. So we created Fun, Fuel, and Fundamentals. And we've been giving a grant in each community, some around nutrition, some around building parks so that people could play, bike trails. We want to improve the health of our children in need. So we identified communities and we found places where we could make the most difference. We decided that 70% of the organizing groups in the towns and cities that we've supported, 70% of the organizers that we've been funding support children in poverty, 79% support organizations that support children of color. It's profoundly moving when you go into a community that has never had a park and you build a park, or a place for bicycles, or gardens where people can learn about nutrition and how to grow their food. But there's more. In addition, the Legacy Fund is investing in breakfast in the classroom with fuel up to place 60. Now, most people and most statistics say that it's important to have breakfast in order to learn. Minnesota is number 44 of 50 states of students who qualify for subsidized breakfasts, and we wanted to make certain that they had those breakfasts available right in the classroom. So one more of the things that we are all doing together is making sure that we have super classroom breakfasts for children across the state. But there's more. Lastly, we've partnered with Newman's Own to encourage kids to try healthy snacks. We all know that some of the snacks around these big games aren't exactly healthy. So we decided to challenge kids under 14 to create recipes of healthy snacks and to submit them. We call it the Super Snack Challenge. So what does all that really mean? We have had 400 recipes submitted. We have the help of Andrew Zimmern, Lachelle Cunningham, Tommy Bivas, Yia Vang, and more fantastic chefs who are going to actually taste all these super snacks that these kids have designed, and they're going to determine which healthy snacks are the very best, and the winners will get $25,000 that will go to a charity of their choice. And that's great. And then, you know about the whole week of activities. There's going to be a Super Kids tailgate party. Maybe you'll be volunteering for that, where they'll serve some of these snacks. We think it's a fabulous way to celebrate kids, to celebrate health, and to enjoy the Super Bowl together. And so finally, I just have to say, what does this all add up to? It really adds up to creating something that will last long after Super Bowl. Families will be biking, kids will be growing things in gardens, and we will have made a difference way beyond what happens on February 4th. That's something that we are doing together. You should feel very proud of that. Thank you.
Think about that for a minute. What an impactful legacy story we have here. You know, we want to thank the host committee for not only committing, but delivering on those goals to reaching kids across the state.